Hey friends, Merry Christmas Eve and welcome back to another video. I'm way behind in my Bookmas. I thought I was gonna make 12 videos. Here I am with only number 5, but it's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I got sick and couldn't film and life got busy. But today's video is gonna be a bit of a chatty one. Everyone's already posting about their end of year content, their favorite reads, stuff they're looking forward to in 2023, and I have a ton of ideas for that before I put out videos recapping all of my reads and also thinking about 2023. I wanted to make a video about the things that I've learned this year from my reading. I'm mostly looking at my reading thematically over 2022 and seeing what worked and didn't work for me. So let me start off with the thought that kind of kicked this whole idea off, specifically in the historical fiction genre. I read a book, it wasn't a bad book, Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. Actually was a pretty decent book, but it clicked in my mind that I really don't like the idea of this dual timeline where in the present day timeline, it's usually a granddaughter or some family member that is uncovering the past of their grandmother or great-grandmother or whoever, and that person never told their life story, they kept their whole life a secret, or the trauma that they experienced a secret, and now their relative in the future is supposed to figure out what happened, usually by uncovering some sort of letter or a box of things and then having to go talk to their grandparent or hunt down things. I just really find that trope or theme or whatever it's called just kind of cheesy and, I don't know, cringy in some parts. It maybe just feels uncreative or stale or just overdone, which I know the historical fiction genre is saturated with that kind of content. And another more recent read, The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult, also has this trope. A granddaughter is uncovering her grandma's past secret of her Holocaust experience that the grandma never shared. And it wasn't poorly done. That one was actually probably better than some that I've read before, but it still just kind of bothered me. Like, it wasn't anything special. And so I guess a takeaway from all that is that going into 2023, really I'm on the hunt for books that I'm gonna love, because 2022 was a very mediocre year. I gave out barely any 5 stars. I just had a very meh reading year, and so I want to focus on things that I know I'm gonna love. And if that's a theme that I know I don't love, I'm going to try to avoid that in historical fiction as much as I can. So here's looking at you. If you know any books that have that trope that are maybe popular that I should avoid, let me know, because I will kind of stay away from them unless I'm really encouraged to try because it's done well. Continuing in the historical theme, but something that I've discovered that I love is alternate history. Now, the book that really sparked it all is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groden. This was a really fun YA dystopian alternate history set post-World War II, but as if the Nazis had won the war and then how that changed society. This book was so hyped and I finally got to it this year, and I'm really glad I did. It always piqued my interest because I'm a huge fan of the show, well, at least the first season, of Man in the High Castle, the Amazon Prime show with the same theme of as if the Axis powers had won the war. And it was so well done and so interesting, and this book was also really well done and interesting. So now I'm on the hunt for more alternate histories because they truly feel like historical fiction with just a little bit of a twist, and I just really love that idea. I think when I talked about the book, I got a few recommendations, but it's not really an obvious kind of topic that most people recommend or talk about. So again, if you have any more recommendations for me, please let me know. I think the main one that came up is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I'm a little afraid because it's a big book, and also Stephen King, I kind of sworn off ever trying to read him, but that is the book of his that I would try to read. It's about the JFK assassination. So that one's on the docket for me to try, and then the other one recommended by my friend Lily is Underground Airlines. So those two are on my radar for 2023 to try to read. But if you have any other alternate history recommendations, let me know. And then finally, for historical, I realized I really love historical thrillers or historical mysteries or suspense, but not the cheesy cozy ones. I'm thinking like truly it's a historical fiction, but the main storyline is either a thriller or a mystery or something needs to be solved. The 2 books that really come to mind that I absolutely loved that have this is The Nature of Fragile Things by Susan Meisner. It is set in 1906 during the San Francisco earthquake, and the main story is very mysterious and also kind of a survival story. That one was a favorite read of mine last year. This year, the book that solidified my love for historical suspense or thriller is The Unknown Beloved by Amy Harmon. This book is set in the 1930s in Cleveland, and the main storyline is about a serial killer and this young woman and an FBI detective that have to uncover things. And I just love both of those books so much. Again, I think it's because it's a more unique perspective than your typical historical fiction that's already out there about the war or about grief or about loss, the main themes that historical fiction kind of has already regurgitated over and over again. So I loved these historical thrillers. That said, I need more recommendations because again, this isn't really an area that is talked about very much or that I see many recommendations of. And I tried to do some deep dive hunting on the internet to try to find recommendations, and a lot of them were just historical, like mysteries in the cozy sense when you think of those two words together. So yeah, I'm looking for more historical, suspenseful thrillers. If you know of any good ones, please let me know. All right, moving on from historical, a big realization that I had this year, and this is a theory that I'm wanting to test out in 2023, and that is contemporary books where the character's name, whether that's just the first name or the full name, is in the title. There are tons of these books. They usually have illustrated covers, and I realized that I don't think they are for me. Most of the time, these books, I'm generalizing here because I haven't read many, but the ones I have read are usually this main character has either had some trauma, has some loss, they're a little quirky, they're a little off, something happened to them, and they're kind of down on their luck, or they don't have friends, or something's going on in their life. And in the course of the book, they're either uncovering their trauma, working through their grief, reconciling with family, or finding new family, so there's a found family aspect, or maybe starting a relationship. They're like cozy and sweet and hopeful, and all of those things should be good things. They should be things that I love, but I just don't really love them. The books that come to mind when I read them is A Man Called Ube and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Both of those books I read, and looking back, I actually gave them 4 stars on Goodreads. They're definitely more like 3-star reads. They're not bad. Middle of the road. Same goes for The 100 Years of Lenny and Margot, another book that everyone loves, and to me it was fine. They're all just fine. They're nothing special to me, and they do not hit me in the heartstrings like they do for other people. I can understand why so many love them, because they are hopeful, sweet books, usually redemptive in nature, or the character has a character arc and grows, and there's an aspect of self-betterment in the book, which is all, again, good things. For some reason, for me, just doesn't work or hit me where it's supposed to hit me. So I actually made a whole list of books that I have read where the character's name's in the title of books I didn't love, ones that worked for me and ones I did like, and ones I want to try. And again, very specifically that it is contemporary books. I don't think classics hold up. A lot of classics have the main character's name in the title, and they are good and stand the test of time. Some historical fiction has names in the title, and that one's like a might work or might not work for me. I'm usually thinking about the contemporary books. Now I may be jumping ahead into that video theory project if I ever get to it, but the 4 books that I own that I want to try this out with, my suspicion is that I won't like these, which means maybe I shouldn't try to read them because I want to read better books in 2023. But they are Where'd You Go, Bernadette? This one actually sounds fun, but based on this theory, I probably won't like it. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, Evie Drake's Starts Over, and The Healing of Natalie Curtis. This one I'm curious about because it is a Christian historical fiction. So I don't know about this one, but it's a book with the first and last name in the title, so I want to test that out. So that is my theory, kind of a realization I had this last year, and I'm curious to see if this theory holds up through 2023 when I maybe attempt to read some of these books. Another thing that was new for me this year was reading my first rom-coms, or just like very obvious romance books have those illustrated covers. I've read 9 of those, and the only reason that I ventured into this is because I became a partner with Libro FM, which is an audiobook listening service, and they give advanced listening copies of books, and Book Lovers was on there. And I thought, well, if I'm ever gonna try it and it's free and if it's available and it's a very popular book and popular author that everyone loves, let me give it a go. And so I listened to Book Lovers, and I still have very mixed feelings about that experience and rom-coms in general. I absolutely understand why people read them. They are fun and lighthearted, quick reads, usually a good time, will make you laugh and maybe blush, but is it well written? Not necessarily, and a lot of the character development that I look for in books isn't there, and there's usually like very unbelievable cheesy circumstances. So you kind of have to like understand that going in, or at least that was my experience from the 9 that I've read. So I guess a takeaway from reading that is there's a time and place for them. Sometimes when I'm maybe in a slump or I want to read something completely different than I'm used to reading, I would throw in a rom-com now and again. I don't think I will ever give one 5 stars, but if you want to challenge yourself and give me a recommendation for one that you think I could really like, please do so. I guess I'm pretty picky with my rom-coms. I really enjoyed watching Kayla from Books and Lala's experience with her journey. That was a really fun video series to watch, and I've kind of had some similar realizations as I've been reading my 9 that I've read this year of things that I like and don't like and would love to have in my perfect book. Maybe that's a whole separate video. Let me know if you're interested, if you want like a tier ranking of the ones that I've read this year, my thoughts and takeaways. Let me transition and land the plane on this video. My second to last point being that I really enjoy reading classics. That was a realization I had in 2021 with reading Rebecca and Little Women. They became favorites, and this year I've read quite a bit of classics and so far really enjoyed my time. I will paraphrase a quote from Ray of Sunlight, who has a beautiful channel. And one thing that I remember she mentioned in the video is that reading a classic book, whether you like it or not, feels like you put a piece into the puzzle of understanding classic literature or literature in general as a whole. And I really feel that whether or not I love the book, I feel like I get a greater understanding of history, of literature, and I didn't go to school for this, so I didn't get a chance to do that in my early 20s, and I'm getting to do that now just as a person who reads books as a hobby. And so in 2022 I read 30 classics, a mix of children's and adult classics, and in 2023 I look forward to reading more. I have quite a bit that I've now acquired on my shelves. I really hope to prioritize those, but I might be easily persuaded, as I usually am, by readathons or buddy reads or etc. So I'm definitely still in a falling in love with classics stage, and I want to read more variety of different authors to see which ones I really love and want to read more from in general. And then another realization this year was thanks to the lovely Shelley Swearingen and Jack from Spread Book Joy. They hosted a picture book readathon. I had never picked up really a picture book. Obviously as a kid I probably did, but I don't remember that, and I don't remember having kind of picture books regularly in my life as a child. And so I went on this journey this year of picking up picture books, and they are this beautiful world that are so fun, and you don't just have to read them to a child, you can read them as an adult. And I've had a ton of fun reading a lot of them this year, and there's beautiful picture books with amazing messages plus amazing artwork. I will share some of my favorites that I found this year in my favorite books of the year video coming up shortly. But all that to say, picture books will definitely be in my life moving forward and a regular thing that I will pick up now and again. They are also excellent palate cleansers. I was recently in a horrible reading slump because of a couple books. I'll get into that in my December wrap up. But the thing that I did is I picked up a couple picture books and a couple graphic novels, and it really helped just to clear my headspace of the books that I really didn't love and wanted to forget about, and I wanted to just pick up something fun and light and made me happy and smile, and picture books are excellent for that. Alright, so that is it. Thank you for watching this long and chatty video about some things that I realized from reading this year. This community is the best and it makes my heart so happy. I love reading and responding to your guys' comments, especially when they are very specific recommendations, which I'm asking for in this video. So thank you for anyone leaving a comment down below. We can chat more down there about some of these specific themes. And my question for you is, did you have any bookish realizations this year? Is there anything that you read that you absolutely loved and you want more of, or something that you read and you hated and you now want to avoid? And what book or books solidified those thoughts for you? I'm curious, so please let me know. And thank you for watching today. Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate and are with friends and family today, or just chilling at home alone. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I will see you guys in more videos soon. Bye.